So this video is going to be more of a technical training on social media, specifically Facebook and Instagram. I will spend the majority of the time going through Instagram since I know that platform is a little bit more of a mystery for people than Facebook is, but I'm going to hit on both in this video. So if you haven't yet watched the content, how to create a content calendar for planning out your social media, I would encourage you to watch that one first because that talks more about the how-to of what to post and strategy for creating your content. This is going to be more of the technical side of physically how to post your content and run your social media channels. All right, so let's just jump in. If you have any questions that come up through this video, please feel free to leave them below or reach out to me, and I will be monitoring those and answering questions as they come up. All right, so let's start with Facebook, and then we'll transition over to Instagram. These first couple tips are going to be true for both Facebook and Instagram. So, when you look at your profile image, you want it to be something that's friendly, relatable, but on brand at the same time. You don't want anyone else to be in the image, and it should be an image of you. Something either of you having fun, doing a hobby you enjoy, just an image you really enjoy of yourself, but where you can see a good majority of your face and you look friendly. Here, it's kind of a side one of me because I want to show hair too, to be like a little bit of a nod at that I am in the hair care industry, but yet I don't want to blatantly say that in any regards. Ultimately, it should just be a photo that makes people feel like you're a real person and they would want to connect with you and be friends on social media. All right. So the next thing I'm going to talk about then is your cover photo, which is this here. Your cover photo should never be anything about your company. So, Monat or not, whatever your company is, this on your personal profile, because we're using your personal profile to promote your business. We're not having a business page. We're not having, this isn't a group. This is just your personal page right now that we're talking about. This should be one of your hobbies, one of your passions, something you love, to give people a little bit more insight into you. So I have, which is actually now quite an outdated picture of my kids, but I love this image. It makes me laugh. It makes me smile. I think it makes other people smile too when they visit my page. And this is the epitome of their personalities as well. So that's my image. But if you love hiking, maybe you have a picture of you hiking in the mountains with your dog. If you love cooking, maybe you have a picture of you with your kids smiling, laughing, cooking Thanksgiving meal or something like that. Something that really, every time you come to this page, you should go, it should make you smile, or it should do a, yep, that's me, that's my life. It really needs to represent you. That's what your cover photo should be. So, then let's move down to the About section. So you'll see on the side here, I will quickly let you know that there's dozens of different versions of Facebook and Instagram out there. And so if yours doesn't look exactly like mine, that's okay. Nothing's wrong. We all just have slightly different versions. And so we should have all the same things for the most part, but if you find you're missing something, it may look a little bit different, be in a little different spot. Okay, so you have a spot for an intro, a bio. This, what I have, I think I've used the exact amount of characters that you are allowed. So as you can see, it's very short. So put a sentence here that basically is your elevator pitch, but not for your business. Your elevator pitch for you. So you may say something about, hair care or an entrepreneur. That's okay. But you don't want to say, Monat is a anti-aging hair care company that or whatever. Like, this is you still, right? So mine is, I'm a wife and work-from-home mom of 2 who thrives off organized, natural, and simplistic living. The reason I chose these words is because if you watch the content planning video, my content buckets are organization, home life organization, natural product recommendations. I try to focus on simplistic living that helps just my stress levels and anxiety. So that's something that's important to me. So that's what I post mainly about. That's what people are going to see here and can expect from me. And so that's what I share here. So just think about what's something short that you can write here for new people, especially as you should be, friending lots of different people every day, making new interactions. First place they're going to check a lot of the times after they look at your images is your intro. All right, so the next thing then would be your links. So you can see here I have my Instagram, so if people want to go follow me over there. And then I also have, for my link, I have this temporary just mobile website that I'm playing around with. So I'll show you. This mainly is for Instagram, but it does work on desktop, or for mobile, I should say. It opens nicer on mobile, but it works on desktop as well. This is a mini website I'm playing around with, but you can put any link here that you choose. So you can put your hair quiz here if you want to have that. If you have your own blog or some other business that you want to link here, that's great. But don't put your shop link here. You don't want people just going on your website, learning everything about what you do and, products, and looking at things and ordering something weird for themselves and then not liking it, or feel like, oh, I looked through it, it's confusing, there's nothing for me, and not feel any need to reach out to you. They're on because they feel like in their mind they've already looked at Monat. So don't post any direct links, but the hair quiz is great. That would probably be my number one recommendation. I may even switch it to my hair quiz link. It's something, as I said, I'm just testing out right now. But otherwise, blog or something simple there is great. You also have the option to include 9 different pictures. So I would definitely include those as well. Just gives people a little bit more of an inside peek into who you are. And it should tell a story. So I hope that mine tells a story. This is the story I see, and I'll share it with you, but it may not be that easy for other people to see, but this is what I'm hoping my little grid here tells you is, if you start from because it's most recent to, oldest, got married, this is my husband and I on our honeymoon, we had our first child, here's a couple pictures of him, then we had our daughter, and there's both of them, and now this is about how old she is. So they all have the same kind of color palette-ish. I think they look nice together for the most part, so that's what I have here. Again, you'll probably tinker with this whole section a lot, so don't not do it and sit on it because it's not quote-unquote perfect in your mind. Work at it, yeah, put, an hour, half hour to an hour one night when you're sitting watching a movie or something like that or whatever. Work on this, yeah, but then just get it out there and you can tinker with it as you go, but it's a lot easier to tinker with something once it's already out there and exists than creating, from scratch. So there's that. And then the last, I think I talked about this in the social media basics video, but I'm just going to talk about it here. Is then, the other main thing people will see, obviously, is your posts. So any photos you put in posts show here, and all of your posts kind of show up here, right? So just, make sure that as you're posting, you're kind of following that 80-20 rule, that you're only posting 20% business posts, because those really are like ads in your reality TV show, and that most of your content is just sharing your life and your family and whatever you're comfortable putting out there publicly. The other thing you want to make sure you're doing on your social media is CPR, commenting, posting, and replying, that you're not just doing the posting piece, that you're also commenting on other people's social media posts, and that you're replying too when people comment on yours. It's not only good for the algorithm, but also just building relationships. So just make sure that you're actually being social on social media. My recommendation there. All right, so a few other things I wanted to mention with technical pieces with Facebook then. So stories are new on Facebook. I wonder if you can see them. Yeah, you can. So here are stories on Facebook. They're newer on Facebook than they are on Instagram. So they are not as active and as widely viewed on Facebook as they are on Instagram, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be posting to your stories on Facebook. And I'm going to show you when I jump over to Instagram a really easy way to have them just automatically share over to Facebook, so you don't have to do any extra work, but you'll be one of the pioneers of Facebook stories then, one of the, people to start really using those. And that's great, not only again for the algorithm, but for people wanting to follow along with you on your journey and kind of see what you're up to. Stories are fun. People like them. So just because you may not be getting a lot of views on your stories, don't feel like you shouldn't be using them. All right, and then the last thing I'll mention on Facebook before we pop over to Instagram is this is the main way Instagram and Facebook differ. Is Instagram is quality over quantity, Facebook is quantity over quality. Now, don't be spamming out stuff, but Facebook just wants to see that you're very consistent with posting pretty much daily. And people aren't as concerned with, being beautiful images and that kind of thing. They just want updates of your life. So you can see here, mine are just pictures and different things, mostly pictures. But everything doesn't have to be, beautiful and that kind of thing. So just make sure you're posting pretty much every day. If you want to post multiple times a day, like twice a day, that's great. But don't worry so much about the quality of images and stuff like that. Now, don't just write gibberish, of course, but the rule of thumb is quantity is more important on Facebook, quality is more important on Instagram. Then I will say, let me talk a little bit actually about lives then. So that's not what I want to do. If you're in stories, so you can click again. Now this is typically done a lot more from mobile, but I'm on a desktop, so that's what I'm going to show you. If you click this little plus, you can add to your story or newsfeed or both. So if you're going to go live, you can do this. I should show you. You can do it from your own page here. You can do live video. And then you can, choose if you wanted to go to your feed, which is here, or only your story. If you put it in your story, it will only be there for 24 hours. If you choose both, it will also then permanently save it until you delete it or remove it or whatever to your page as well. I'm not going to go into how to do lives a whole lot in here, because honestly you just hit the live button and hit live video, and then you go live. Let's hop over to Instagram. I'm going to show you that I have this handy dandy little I'm hoping this works to show you on my desktop computer what the Instagram app looks like. This all should be pretty close to similar. Okay, so on Instagram then, I'm going to say the same thing for your bio image. It should follow the same rules. It should look similar or be the exact same as the one you have on Facebook, so that people can learn to recognize you. So my image is basically the same image, just a different angle. It's a little bit more fun. I wanted that one for Instagram. And so, that can go there, but it should be something, again, pretty recognizable, and that people can recognize you also across platforms. So same image or similar image. Your bio text now. So have your name, your full name, so that people know who you are. We're branding ourselves. We're not branding Monat. And so, just your name here is great. Instagram now, you can set up your bio to be on multiple lines. So I would look back at your content buckets if you did the, planning out your content calendar video. Look at what those buckets look like. Those are some of the words, the titles of those content buckets are what you're going to want to put in here. So my content buckets, one of them is being a work from home mom. As I said earlier, one of them is natural product recommendations. Another one is like simplistic intentional living. So I have all of that information here. Again, you don't see Monat, you don't see, like I don't know. You don't want to make it just too businessy. You want it to be focused on you. It's a social platform that people first and foremost are following to follow you. But that doesn't mean you have to take your business completely out of it. I used to have this last line said, teaching women to work from Wi-Fi. So that was on here. I recently changed it to take the quiz and request free samples, a call to action. I just changed this. I'm getting more hits now on this link that I have a call to action here where it says take the quiz and request free samples. So I think people are clicking because free samples for what? Like, what do you do? And if you click it, again, it's that same little website here, obviously meant for mobile, but there's, how to request free samples, request a borrow basket, attend an event. So you can have this be your hair quiz link though, to just say, take the hair quiz for, free samples or something, whatever you want to say that you think people will click on your link for, and then put your hair quiz link here. So this, how I was just saying, the focus of Facebook is quantity. The focus of Instagram on your feed, anyway, is quality. So you should still be consistent. You should pick a consistent schedule and stick to it. But Instagram, it's more important to have a very nice looking curated feed. And what that means is the pictures all kind of tell a story as you look through them. They have the same feel, same color palette, that kind of thing. If this feels overwhelming, that's okay. Start with just posting pictures. As you have, oh, that's a nice picture, you think that, post it on your Instagram. Some of the more, other pieces will come. Like I said, if you are, not feeling like you can't get a super curated feed, and mine's not even, great. I mean, you look at some others, obviously, and they're gorgeous. Don't let that hold you back. Just start somewhere, and then you can, make adjustments as you start to figure it out more. There's lots of free apps you can use. I'll list some with this video here of some photo editing apps that I use on my phone. You can use presets. I'm not going to get into all that because if you just look up like using mobile presets on Instagram, you can find a million tutorials. I'll share with you my favorites. You can find a lot of them for free. You can just edit pictures on your own, brighten them up a little bit, whatever you want to do, but I'll share some of those apps with you along with this video. So if you're posting though, then because this is a lot more work, if you're only posting every 2 days or every 3 days to your feed here on Instagram, that's okay. Because the stories feature, and of course my stories just ran out before filming this, so I need to upload more after. But whereas on Facebook, your feed is viewed a lot more than your stories. On Instagram, the opposite is true. Your stories are viewed a lot more than your feed. And so it's important to be having something in your feed daily. Again, I'm realizing now I feel silly. Mine just expired. But you can see all these people have their stories. make sure you're posting in your story, not constantly, but that there's always something in your stories. So like all these people have something in their stories, you can see that there's something, available. And the difference, which is really fun, this is kind of the juxtaposition of the platform, and this is why people love it so much, is your feed is just, beautiful and your best images, and it's fun for people to look through and kind of go back through your story that you're telling here through your images. Your stories can just be like blah, like they can just be crazy. They can be your life. They can be you mopping the floor. They can be you folding laundry and talking about something. They can be you with, sweats on and just hanging low at the house with the family. They can be you putting up your Christmas decorations and talking about something. It's just super casual, and it feels very friend, like just hanging out in each other's houses, getting to know you. There needs to be, and actually it's better if there's not really no formality or anything like that in your stories. Now, that being said, obviously make sure that whatever you put in there is okay for public consumption. Like if there's anything you wouldn't want people to see, don't put it in there, because yes, it will disappear after 24 hours, but for 24 hours, people can see it. So, just make sure that you are happy with the content that's going there, but it doesn't need to be super polished and professional. And in fact, it's, as I was saying, it's better if it shouldn't. So that's kind of the fun juxtaposition there of the stories, with the stories in the feed. All right. Again, just checking my notes. So if you are sharing ads, time-sensitive ads, those should always go in your stories. So for flash sales, those should always go in your stories. They shouldn't go on your feed. Really, your feed should be 100% you and family. If you want to put on there, some great ones might be like some samples, just to let people know you have samples. A favorite product, if you're talking about a product, you can do that for a little bit. If you want to show a picture of your borrow basket to let people know you have that available. But this should be stuff that's always available, and it should be very few and far between. Your stories will be where you place all of your quote unquote ads and flash sale information will go in your stories. That's where people will see it most quickly. It's also time, sensitive, so it'll go away after that 24 hours. So that's great. So I'm going to give you a couple tips for your feed first. And so I'm going to share with you that the pictures in your feed, while we're not all professional photographers, and wouldn't that be nice? People know that and understand that, but you have to try. So some ways that you can improve your images is look at the background. Make sure that, the background isn't crazy or has, mismatched, couch cushions all over the place or laundry all over the floor, toys all over if that's not the purpose of the post. Try and have more of like a neutrally background if you can, as much as possible, or something that's just overall not super distracting from the image. I'll try and see if I found one. It's not as good. I went through and deleted a bunch of my older, you can see here, obviously I have a different color palette now for this one. But yeah, just try and keep your images, simple in the backgrounds. The other thing is make sure they're well lit. Lighter pictures do wildly better on Facebook than darker images. So make sure that they're well lit, that you can see people's faces, and that they're bright and cheery, but, not washed out, that's kind of the focus of them. Again, I will leave some apps that I like for editing pictures. I won't show you how to use all them because, as I said, if there's an app you're interested in, just Google the name of it and how to use Lightroom, how to use Snapseed, how to use Facetune, and it'll show you. If your face is in your picture, it will get 800% more engagement. Now, I know we all don't love pictures of ourselves. And in fact, I need to add a picture of myself because in your latest 9, which is the first 3 rows, that's what people can see when they log on their phone, is only the first 3 rows. You want to make sure your picture is always in one of them. So here I was here I was here. Again, I really don't like posting my picture, but put it on there. Even if it's side of your face or something like that, your face needs to be in one of, your most recent pictures. So make sure that you're doing that. Beyond that then, pictures of people's faces also do a lot better than just this picture of this money box, or this Target or these clothes or this couch. Pictures of faces do so much better. So if it's not your face, put a picture of your kids if you're comfortable with that, your husband, you and your friends, whatever. The other thing then I'll talk about for your feed is your captions and hashtags. And I'll just talk about that quickly here. So you can see that this is one of my longer posts. Again, you don't want them to be super long, but if you have a lot of text, make sure you break it up so that it's readable. On Instagram, I don't know why, but this is how it is. It's very hard to get a return. It's not just on your computer or Facebook. You hit return, and it, starts a new paragraph. So what we recommend is what a lot of people do is they put a period on that line and then hit return again. And make sure that after your periods, there's not a space. This is a really technical thing and it's weird. So I hope it's making sense. But so here where there's a period, I'd want to make sure I didn't have a space because it's going to mess up all the spacing. So if you have a space here, remove it and then hit enter. Put a period, don't hit a space, and just hit enter again, and you can start your new. It'll become second nature to you, but that's how the easiest way to break up paragraphs and make sure that they stay broken up across devices and things like that. So that's a good way to do it. For hashtags then, let me go back to an older post. The recommendation is to put, so you can see this is a long one, is to put your hashtags in your, this is the older one, your first comment. So if you put your hashtags in your first comment within, a minute, they will count. So the reason that I do that is because it makes my caption just easier to read. But you can also put your hashtags at the end of your caption too. But I think that it's just easier to read when they're not in there, and it still counts them and reads them if you have them in this in your, the first comment here. So as long as you type them in, Instagram counts it. So for hashtags, some of the guidelines are you can post up to 30, but 11 is the optimal amount. You'll see this across a lot of different places. 11 is the optimal amount of hashtags to not feel like spammy and you're overusing some because that can hurt you, but to have enough. You want to have a mix of trending hashtags and not trending. So you want to have 4 to 5 hashtags that have over 1 million posts to them, because then you'll get the people who just go through and like, and that will help get your post some engagement. But you also aren't going to be seen because you're going to get very, very buried very quickly because people are constantly posting to those hashtags, right? And so you're not going to get a whole lot of new followers and engagement and stuff from that. So you want to also have 6 to 7 hashtags that are less than 100,000. That means they've been posted to less than 100,000 times. So when you click on, let's say, document life, I hope it'll show on desktop. Oh yeah, you can see it has 1,000,000, 1,005. It's over 1 million. Over 1 million posts. It's late at night. Sorry, guys. To this hashtag. if I click another one, let's just click here, you can see it'll show you the amount. This has, you know, less than 1 million. So you want to mix, as I said, of 4 to 5 that are well over 1 million, and then you want 6 to 7 that are under 100,000. Under 100,000 are the ones that people, it's still getting seen by enough people, but it isn't oversaturated yet. So those are some great ones to be using. You can do some hashtag strategy time. So what I would do is I would go on Instagram, I would go to the little search icon, and I would just start typing in hashtags. And you can, here's the search feed, but you can start to see, you know, just play around with hashtags. You can also look at other people you follow who, don't follow like all Monat people because we're all posting the same hashtags, but let's say you have an entrepreneur that you follow who your audience would be the same, but you sell different products or they're service-based or whatever. Look at what hashtags they're using. I'm going to see if someone here is using hashtags. You know, see what hashtags they're using and see if there's any of those that you would want to use, see as well here. So she posted hers in her first comment, and you can see, you know, look through what other people use, and you can just start to, in the notes section on your phone, make a list of some of the ones that you like. Now, if you're feeling overwhelmed at this point with the whole hashtag thing, which you very well might be, don't let that keep you from posting. So sometimes, honestly, oops, but I'll just post an image and not post any hashtags because something is better than nothing. Now, I'll get a lot more engagement and a lot further viewing if I put hashtags in, but if it's all or nothing, you know, then I'm choosing nothing. So sometimes I have to just choose something is better than nothing. And you could even start with just your post, your image, and your captions, and then adding hashtags in later on. But just those are the guidelines for hashtags. 11, 4 to 5 that are over 1 million, 6 to 7 that are under 100,000. All right. Some last few tips then about posting is it's best to post before 9 a.m. or after dinner time. Those are typically the high traffic times. You can go to your stats. If you go to the little cog and you can look at your stats. On your mobile, it's over here, and you can just choose stats, and it'll show you that to see when your feed is most viewed, but it also is going to matter on when you're posting, you know, that's all. So typically the most popular times that you'll get highest views is before 9 a.m. or after dinner time in your time zone. You should be following 5 to 10 new people a day and interacting with them just like we do on Facebook. So you can go to the search feature and you can search, you know, entrepreneurs. You can search moms of 2-year-olds, moms of 3-year-olds, whatever, whoever you feel like you like to and enjoy connecting with and following. If it's, you know, you do keto and you look up like keto tips, you know, as a hashtag, let's say, then people who focus on sharing keto recipes will probably be posting to that hashtag, and you can figure out who is most interesting to you to follow, and you can follow them. Let's see where I have some. So you can see I'm on this hashtag. You can click on someone and you can follow them or not if you want to. You can, you know, decide. And so, you know, go to a hashtag that you think you might be interested in. You can just interact with and follow people that way. This is why hashtags are a lot more popular on Instagram, because people are just looking for new people to connect with, and they don't necessarily have all those like, you know, this person or this person recommendations. And so they'll look for people, and it's, you know, then you can find people here. You can click into a picture that you like and then see if you want to follow them or not. You can click on their like name to see more before you decide, and you should be adding 5 to 10 new people a day and then actually interacting with them, like their pictures, you know, that type of thing. Leave a little comment. All right, so people will be, with your content, people will follow you if your feed looks pretty, but they'll stay if you're providing some sort of value. And remember, value doesn't have to be that you are, like teaching them something in every post, but just making them smile, making them laugh, oh, what cute Halloween costumes, I liked seeing their Halloween costumes, that type of thing. Just providing some sort of value to people. Typically, it's entertaining, empowering, or I can't think of the last one, but educating. So those are the three: empowering, entertaining, or educating. One of your posts should typically be doing one of those things. So this last part of the video I do want to do from my phone so that I can show you just the actual layout of the app and some of the technical features in case that this is new to you. So once you log in here, you'll be on this first tab here, which is your news feed. You'll see that you'll have your stories all up across the top here. When you're watching stories, you can click on the right or left hand side to move forward or backwards through this individual person's stories. You can hold your thumb or any finger down on the story to, if there's something to read or you want to look at, so that it doesn't keep moving through. Otherwise, every, however long the story is, max of 15 seconds, it will move to the next slide. And then if you completely want to go to the next person's set of stories, you can swipe to the left. And you can see here I'm going to actual different people's stories. And then again, just tapping on the right or left hand side will let you move back and forward through that person's stories. So stories will be there in your newsfeed. And then of course, all of the pictures from the people that you follow will be there as well. The next option you'll see along the bottom is the magnifying glass. If you click that, you will see that was one of the bachelorettes who just joined the Monat family, actually. So you'll see some of the most popular posts right now on Instagram, and then you can search for things. So if you click in this search up top there, you can search by hashtags, by people, and it'll start to kind of populate for you and give you some options. So that's a great way to interact with people too, is you can search, hashtags, or if, let's say, you go into a picture, I think I have some hashtags here. You can, choose one, wife life, let's say, and you can follow people. So you can click on them and see if you want to follow them or not by clicking that blue follow button at the top. And you should be following like 5 to 10 new people a day, if we didn't say that yet. How you actually add an image then is you'll click the right in the middle of your bottom bar is a plus button. You'll click that, you'll add the image, and then let's see here. We'll just put a product image, which looks not the greatest right now, and you'll just go through, and then you can write a caption. You can tag people. If there's people in it to tag, you'll just click on the image. You can tag people. And then you can have it share over to Facebook if you link your Facebook account. I'm not going to go into that in this video just because there's so many intricacies of Facebook. If you have questions on specific things like how to link my Facebook to my Instagram, just, Google it or check it on YouTube, and it will show you certainly how to do all that. You can add a location if you want, although I only recommend adding locations if you're doing like a picture of a landscape. Instagram doesn't really like if you add a location and you have like it's just a person's face, so there should be some scenery or something in it. And then you can choose if you want to share to Facebook and then just hit share. Obviously, I'm not going to share that one, but that's how you would do that. If you click the heart along the bottom, that will show all of your notifications of people who have liked or commented on your posts and interact with you there. And then this last one, the person, is your profile. The other thing you'll see then is So at the top here, I wish I could point, but you have your picture, you have how many posts you have, followers, how many people follow you, your bio, and then you have the little circles are your highlights. So as you share things to your stories, as you know, they only are there for 24 hours. So if you have something though that you love and you want to keep, you can add it to a highlight. So I have all these different highlights here that I've named. I've collected some as I've, done them. But if you click into one of them, I'm going to click this Black Friday deals one.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving.
Okay.
But a couple of...
and then I go to the next highlight. There's my daughter when she was a baby. These are some of the stories I've done that I've saved to different highlights. So I'll show you how to do that when we go to stories. And then last thing underneath those circles, you see the 9 grid there next to it is another option. It's just images of you people have tagged you in. So those show up there as well. So let's, to end here, let's walk through stories. So I'm going to click on my picture, but you also, if you are on your home screen or your home feed, your picture is up in the top left-hand corner. You can click that as well. And then, you can just click your picture again and you can add more stories. So here's my laptop. But you can, and again, I won't get a ton into this just because there's so many options, but you can add a filter. If you scroll, through these, just play around with it and you'll see. There's different options, but you can add, if my picture, my face is on, you can add cat ears. You can see then along the bottom where it says create, normal, boomerang. Those are just different options for creating different types of stories. And then live, create is just to add text, and then live would be to go live. So you could do that if you have something that you want to share live. And again, that will stay as a live video. There's no time limit then on that for 24 hours in your stories. Otherwise, your stories, are 15 seconds long. But if you do a live, there's not a time limit on it. As far as I know, you can do, anything within reason, and then it will save as a live within your stories. So let's just take a picture of my computer desktop here. And then you will see along the top now, you can add different things. So you can, do you see the one that's a square smiley face? If you click that, that's the main one where you can add a location, you can add a hashtag, you can add the time, you can add a poll. That's really popular. So I'm going to hit the poll. You can ask a question. What's your, that's not right. What's your favorite color? And then you can add the choices. So if I click in this where it says yes, I can add blue. And if I click where it says no, I can add yellow. And then if I hit the done button, I can click and drag and I can move this all around. So you can add polls, you can add different things, and then you can see the results when you're looking back through your stories. So if I click that square smiley face, that's the main one. Otherwise, you can add text. Of course, the very far one on the right, the capital and lowercase a's, if you click that, you can say hi, and you can go through different types of text. Hit done when you're done, change the color, move it around with your finger. I'm going to click that square smiley face one more time. You can add music, you can add a poll, you can add just all different things. You can search for things. So lots you can do there just to make your stories fun. You'll have, play around with it and you'll figure out all the different things. When you're done, you can hit either the send to, which is at the bottom right-hand corner, or you can hit, because I have my linked, that I wanted to go to both stories. I wanted to go to my stories on Instagram and Facebook. I'm going to tell you 95% of the time, when I'm done, I hit in the bottom left-hand corner your stories and I wanted to send to both. If you didn't, what you can do is you can hit the send to button in the bottom right-hand corner. And where it says your story share, where it says and Facebook story, I can click that and I can say turn off once or turn off the sharing feature completely. And if I didn't want just this one to go over to Facebook, I would say turn off once, and then I would hit share, and it would share only to Instagram and not Facebook. But typically I want them to go to both places and do double the work for me. So I'm going to discard that, obviously. So that's your stories. And the last thing then I'll show you, so if you look at the top where it says Instagram, there is a little like TV icon and then also your direct messages next to it. So your direct messages, that's if people send you a direct message just like they can do on Facebook, it would show up there. I'm not going to show you mine just because obviously I don't have permission from everyone who sent me messages to share that, but those would be in there. Pretty self-explanatory. If you are looking at the same screen but you click your the little person icon in the bottom right hand corner, you'll see that that icon in the top right hand corner changes. So if you click that, you can see things like your settings, your insights, which is like your stats, just lots of different things you can look at there. And then the last thing I'll show you before I show you IGTV just super quickly is if you click your picture, that's where your stories are. So if you click your picture, you can see your stories. Now, if I swipe up from the bottom, you can see who's seen them. I just added these. So you can swipe up from the bottom and you can get all the stats on your pictures. So you can, I just added these before filming this part. So you can click on the little bars, like the graph bar, and that will give you stats as it becomes available. And then if you click the little eye, you can actually see who's seen it. And then if you had a poll or something here, the results of the poll would show up there. So again, I do just want to show you this. You'd swipe up from the bottom. And so especially important if you have a poll on your stories, and then you can scroll left or right at the top to go through them like that. But if you had a poll or a question or something, you could see the results there for those. Okay, the last thing that I'm going to show you is if we go back to our news feed, which is clicking that home button in the bottom left-hand corner, IGTV. So that is this little TV icon right next to your direct messages. And basically what IGTV is, let's go to Sarah's. She is a Monat gal. It's wonderful if you have a need for it. So basically what IGTV is it allows you to upload a video that's anywhere between, I think, like a minute and 10 minutes. And you can add it to your IGTV, which is basically like stories, but that are a lot longer. And you can add titles for them, and it's easier for people to find things that way. It's basically if you have longer, more informational videos or something you want to talk about, you can put them there rather than having to upload them all onto YouTube and having to start a whole nother social platform, a YouTube platform. You can upload them just right to IGTV. So if I click on Sarah,
We're not allowed.
You can see she has more icons along underneath her stories, her little circles. Oh, I was going to show you how to save those. So she has her grid, and then next to that, she has the little TV icon. She has a lot of different little videos that she's done for IGTV. Now, I don't have that icon because I don't have any yet, but that is something I want to start doing. So you can see she has how to wash with Monat, a tutorial, how to adapt to harsh lighting and, playing something, whatever that says. Tutorial content creation basics. So she has names of videos, and then she has videos, and you can see how long they are. 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 6 minutes, 2 minutes. You can upload them all here, and they'll save there. And then if I were to click her little 9 grid there, you can see all of her like normal feed, her grid, and then next to that is her IGTV. So that's there as well. The last thing I was going to show you is how to post your stories to your highlights. So IGTV, don't feel like that's anything you have to get into unless you have a legit use for it that you feel you want to kind of tinker away with that. So if you have a story, let's say I wanted to share this one to Avia's highlights. So what you would do is I would hit the highlight in the bottom. It has a highlight with a heart in it. I would hit that and I just add what highlight. Either I can make a new one or I can add it to one that I already have, and it's just that easy. So I think that's probably it for Instagram for now. There's so much to Instagram. It's really a fun platform. If you haven't played around with it, I highly encourage you to. I really do. If you're feeling overwhelmed, that's okay. There's a lot here, and if it's all new to you, then it's a lot of new things to look at. But just remember that this is fun and it's something you can take at your own pace. I would encourage you to, start playing around with it, figuring out how you can use it in your business, because it's just a whole nother platform that people are very, very active on. But that being said, it's not a have to, and it should be fun. It shouldn't stress you out. So it's something like anything else. You just start to learn piece by piece, and then you figure out, more as you go along. This is a very funny meme, by the way, that keeps replaying. Sorry about that. So I think that's it for this video. If you have questions, let me know. I'm going to share, as I said, along with this video, some of those Monat gals who are, I think, doing a good job on Instagram from varying levels. I'll do everything like, MMB through directors, just to give you some options to look at there. But, it's not a competition game, just should be to give you some ideas and inspiration. All right, have a good rest of your day.